Hi guys, Wayneco713. If you may have seen within the update logs and announcements and all, but I've successfully revamped what you have called for years Legend of the Purple Raven RPG. And basically it's it's pretty interesting. It's now called Ravecraft, and I'll go ahead and show you right after the intro.
Zombie apocalypse.
As you can see there, it kind of looks similar, right? But when I go and talk to this mob, or sorry, not mob, NPC, Veltric, um, which, speaking of, hit the bell when you subscribe. Um, yeah. Basically, I have it to where, you can talk to him. So this, so basically in the original game, it used, um, it used, Everscion V1. It was one of the OGs, but I used a lot of add-ons from it. So this was before Droplets Kit. So I think I kind of explained a little bit in like the live stream kind of how it works, but how the history worked. But basically Eversign V1 is kind of the one that everyone kind of remembered and that was when Eversign first released a kit. Everyone started using it, and people even made like their own modifications to it, and then Droplet made his modification and then everyone started using that one because it was so many new things like spawn bosses, tool requirements, etc. Um, there were others, like there were add-ons, and like Danrich123, he created the quest system that this game used to use, which I feel like is somehow a little somehow still used with this new quest system, but basically basically yeah, you had a quest system there as sort of an add-on. It didn't work with Droplet's kit because Droplet had modified the damage script, but remember I made a version of Danrich's kit that you could use. And there was also Furby's RPG. A lot of y'all probably remember. A lot of y'all probably think BW King 16 was the guy that made ranged weapons, and I'm here to tell you that he modified it just like I did. Um, Basically, what happened is someone named Furby Black White created a bunch of weapons, and with one of the ones within the weapons used is one of the ones used within the weapons is basically um, the bows. And it was broken AF, I will tell you right now. It was broken AF. And it didn't really work. And so BW King 16, what he did was he took that bow. By the way, the other weapons in that kit were like there was a hammer, there was I was just sorry about that. There was basically a hammer. BW King 16 actually joined, by the way. There is a floor glitch. Also, I'm pretty sure BW King 16 has a message. Yeah, he says hi. Okay. Um, yeah. So basically, yeah, there is a floor glitch right now, but I'm basically just yeah. So basically, there was also the hammer, there was the knife, which some of those weapon models you'll see even in the revamp game here. Um, oh, he just joined for music. Um, but yeah, so it's actually it's actually pretty interesting. But the bow, that bow specifically, introduced a lot, and so it BW King 16 kind of modified that to be used for Droplets kit, and then I guess another guy went and fixed that. And the way that worked was you kind of clicked it, added like a little pellet, and if it was like near the mob, I think it would damage it. It was pretty broken. Now, not to say the modern ranged weapons are broken now too, because the floor glitch is in the game. Afterwards, Eversign V2 dropped unexpectedly around 2023. Everyone loved it. They switched over to it. They dropped Droplets Kit like a hot potato. They went right to Eversign V2. As soon as they saw how the mobs were, their death animations, all that, they were like, we're moving there. It looks awesome. So everyone started revamping their games, to use it. It's amazing. And he changed the formula too. Like he changed how the data stored. He changed he changed a bunch of things, and he changed like how the damage system works. It had a lot of bugs though. But I think he may have even added a kills system too. And and the armors are, now in inventories. They don't have helmets. Once that came out, there were once again add-ons. The only add-ons I know about are the Axe Rose add-ons. The sword abilities. He made the ranged AI add-on, and he made mob abilities. And then there were two modified kits, just like how Droplet modified V1 that everyone started using. The first one's Orion, which is what you see right now, this game, and there's Ejals. Ejals, I think Ejal kind of use the mob AI and the ranged mob AI, but he fixed a lot of the bugs that were in the game. You see, in Eversign V2, his kit and droplets, you have to turn on API access, or you'll get a server kick. So API access for Roblox Studio. So the thing about Orion's kit, it's broken. It's got a lot of bugs. A lot of people recommend Ejals because it's better. And Ejals has, the magic system and like consumables, which you can do that in Orion's kit as well. Orion's kit also has magic, but they also have spawned mobs and they have quests, which there is a spawn mob add-on that Orion made as well that you can use the Eversign V2 and somehow in Ejal's kit maybe. Right here is the quest feature though. So as you can see, he doesn't give a quest. He just gives the chat. But there's also a crafting system here. However, the crafting system doesn't fully work. There is a couple bugs, but I think that it's an improvement. If you've noticed, if for those of y'all playing the game, I made a menu where you can go and teleport. So so right here is right here is the shops. You can talk to Sold. He's literally called Sold. He's part silver, part gold. He's from Ravenverse 2, and he is known for going out. He's an adventurer. He loves to adventure. He loves to kill mobs, get loot, and he loves to sell them to people. He loves being a merchant, and that is what he does here in the Null Space Castle. See, I can view, and I know it's a little bit glitchy, but it says sold Null Space Castle shop. You got the iron sword, the healing potion, basically just all the starter weapons, because you got the crossbow, you've got the iron armor, you got the MP potion, and for some like weird reason I can't click the crossbow. I'll get that fixed, but oh, I can't click on them because I bought them. Never mind. But see, like I just got the iron sword, for example. Now the pawn, you can use the pawn to sell. So if you have armors, you can sell your armors. This is Gilver. She's the same way. She's part gold, part silver. She's the Dark World counterpart, honestly. So she's from the same universe Knaus is from. And Orion the blacksmith. So for him it's crafting. So you can give iron sword, iron armor, and get it improved. These are the default. I kind of left them alone. You can go ahead and do that. Now right over here, the leaderboards. I know this is partially kind of showing, his Orion's kit as well. But like right here, you got top gold, right? And see here the top people right here. Um, it's the top 50, so you can scroll like this. It'll say like leaderboard front. It'll be like a giant box, but by default, the kit has level and kills. But you can always make one like I did, and just a third one, and have the top gold. And yeah. I forgot to say that Orion's kit has tool requirements as well, so you can enable tool requirements. And I've actually found a way, if you've seen in the tutorial about how to make keys, so you can allow you can take advantage of the tool requirement system. I wonder if you can edit that. Nice. I'm clicking on it. You can't type. A lot of people in some of the leaderboards, they have it so you can replace, like, it's almost like going into the HTML of the website and changing it to say whatever the hell you want. But anyway, top 50 level, most of the people are level 1 because, well, the bugs. But I guess when BW King 16 joined or something with the shadows, yes, this is an individual part, but that's the only way I can make the structure. You got the timeline right here. You've got Dr. Time. The villain in the later chapters of this game. He kind of acts peaceful, but we both know he's evil. But he could be possessed. We don't know. But for what we know, he's one of the antagonists. But he's here in the castle, watching over this timeline. And then if I go teleport up, which I could have just honestly climbed up, but use the teleport menu to go up. It's the in-game credits. One thing I forgot to do was maybe cite Axros for the ranged weapons, because I realized I watched this video and it almost looked like it was the same ranged AI that I see in this kit. But I kind of quoted Ejal, and in a future update I will anchor these mobs. For now, feel free to push them around. I will anchor some of these. Some of those are already anchored, like Lord Sepher. But credits. You can talk to me, but that ain't really that ain't like YouTuber me. You have to see YouTuber me to get a badge. Yeah, this is the Waiting Code 713 from Ravenverse 2, not the one that does YouTube. So then you've got if you see kind of the flickering and the bugs, I think part of it could be the floor glitch a little bit, because BW King had joined earlier. Or it could just be something with the kit. The problem with this kit is sometimes, like, let me see if it actually works. I'm going to take out my bow, and I'm going to shoot at it. Sometimes you'll see it go up. Like, so that's how the ranged weapon works, I forgot to say. So someone actually made a ranged weapon add-on that uses something called a casting mesh. And what happens is the casting mesh gets thrown, and then, like you see here, in the casting mesh, if it hits the mob, if it collides with the mob, which means it touches, the mob has something called a hitbox. And if it hits the hitbox, that's how it damages it. Well, I think all the Eversign mobs have hitboxes. Eventually, Eversign actually decided to add it into his kit, making ranged weapons well canon. So, it's pretty nice. But it seems like the glitch is fine right now, but usually it'll teleport up like that. And then in just a few seconds the floor disappears. So The next thing over here, I guess this kind of turned into a castle tour a little bit. But over here you've got this is the Rise of Blue Ravens trilogy right here. This part of the castle right here, and kind of a lot of it, it's kind of a museum. I kind of got inspired by an old game called the Mystic Museum, so I was just thinking, why not? So this whole thing's like a museum, a museum that talks about the history of Ravenverse One, and you're kind of reliving it. You're here, and you just want to. That's kind of how it is right here, and so you jump into the painting and you go back in time. So that's sort of how that's why I call it null space time as well. Um, I added lore keys. I'm gonna go ahead and just to yeah, I have the lore key so I can go in, but basically you've got signs here. I don't want y'all to I mean you'll probably analyze this bit by bit and figure out what exactly the signs say, but I had to sort of try to look down to make sure that y'all actually try to get the lore key. Um, but basically, there's lore on one side, dialogues on another. I added some training dummies right here. They don't give you any XP, but feel free to kill them. Yes, the magic system. I explain all about it in the tutorial video that I made about with Orion's kit. But without further ado, you may be wondering where's the Purple Raven painting. I decided to only revamp one realm at a time. I already am starting to revamp Realm 2. My plan for Realm 2, though, if y'all ever got there in the original game, you'll notice that there's only 8 worlds, and there's going to be 11 worlds. There's Crystal Cave, Skeleton Graveyard, and Coast House. And Coast House being the final. And with it being like a portal to Atlantia, which is the third realm, which is this one right here. This one right here. Of course, you can tell I took a Vincent Van Gogh painting and kind of put my took a screenshot and put it. But at any rate, I kind of made this disappear to let y'all know that that's coming soon. These kind of send a similar message, but I just thought, it'd be better just to take both of them, just to send the message that's not out yet, that it was there, and, I'm working on it. But for now, let's hop into the Ally Realm, because why not? So, it's going to teleport me over to the Ally Realm, where you can actually grind, and, this is where you actually go. So, yeah, if you noticed, I'm already 1,000. I'll go ahead and hide it so you can see it. I've actually been grinding for a while in my game, but see, this game, the main thing that's kind of different is I've added spawn bosses. Another thing you might have noticed is I added a VIP room. So you may be wondering for those of y'all that remember the old game, there was an oxygen bar, and I had a 500 Robux pass to remove it. So there's a game pass. So I haven't changed that game pass fully yet. I mean, I did here, but like on your end, you'll still see it as remove oxygen, but it actually does something different here. It gives you the VIP key. It's going to be a VIP game pass now. So, you may be wondering, wait, what about the oxygen? I'm getting rid of the oxygen bar. Everyone's going to have unlimited oxygen. For those of y'all that have already paid 500 Robux, you're going to get the VIP key. And for those of y'all that haven't purchased it yet, I'm probably going to raise the price because of how powerful these swords are. If you look at the damage, it's about 30,000 to 45,000. It might still be 500 Robux for a while, but I was considering raising it maybe to 1,000 to accommodate the how powerful the swords are. So, but I'm not really sure because I did the mobs don't give you levels, so I might keep it at 500. I'm just saying if there's a price range, then you know why. But obviously, I unlocked it because I'm waiting because 713. I've got the VIP key. th- in this room, you saw it say "coming soon" for the longest time. This is what the room's supposed to be. It's a literally a VIP room, and how it works for those of y'all purchased the VIP key. There's like 3 mobs you can grind, and to make sure that people have purchased and don't obtain it without getting the game pass, I put a portal. There's custom music here, so that's another thing. You can actually hear a song that you'll never hear unless you have VIP, or you might hear it in a later chapter. Um, but anyway, I have a boss here for the VIP room, and if you kill it, he gives you the VIP armor, VIP bow, and VIP sword. And I put a key requirement on the boss. So you may be wondering why I took the extra precaution. It's because of the floor glitch going on. And that's also why I was able to unlock the level door without even directly touching it, because I made the level door wide all the way here in case someone were to despawn the walls using the glitch that I was talking about, because it works with it. It also makes walls disappear. And so right here is the portal room. Now, a lot of y'all might be asking about the keys. So I actually had to balance it, but if you talk to friendly grass monster now, the first thing you'll notice is he says Ravecraft. If you hit this dot dot dot, it will actually tell you a little bit of lore that you'll actually see this in chapter 2, because chapter 2 will start off as a flashback about where you came from, like how the grass monsters rescued you. But that's chapter 2, Death of A-Game. Um, but basically, yes, I kept that right here. See, it says, how do I obtain keys? He will tell you how to get all the keys. The only thing he doesn't tell you is the lore keys, because the lore keys is the same. Um, so, as he said right here, so, and I kind of changed it. So if y'all remember playing the original one, I actually changed it a little bit for Decayed Key 1 again. Well, I just added a second way you can get it. I made it so there's 2 ways you can get it. But once you already have it, the second way is kind of unnecessary unless if you want to, get the weapons. Because you can still do both ways to get all the weapons. But before, how it was and this was what was kind of delusional a little bit, was like Fire Dude would tell you kill the strong grass monster, which is the spawn boss of that world, the strong grass giant, to get the key. But in reality, he never dropped the key. You had to complete the quest, kill him, then talk to Fire Dude to get the key. And that's what made it kind of confusing. So I changed it. So, like right here, he spawned. And of course, because I've beaten it, I can kill it, one hit. But this is the strong grass giant right here. And, yeah, see, I just killed it. And, normally he would appear and spawn and tell you how many seconds left. And, because the way the spawn bosses work is there's a tick second, which is kind of like just, one real life second, right? So when you say, so the rarity is, it kind of rolls a dice, right? It rolls a dice. It does kind of a probability, statistics, or one of those like casino games maybe, where every single second, the die is rolled, right? And like you say, 1 in 7,500, 1 in 50,000, or something, right? Like that, 1 in a million, right? That is the chance that they will spawn every second. So every second, that that event gets fired, and that event gets executed, and most of the times it's going to be against you, which means it's not going to spawn, right? It's going to say, oh, this second, nope, it didn't spawn. But eventually it's gonna hit that, and then it will spawn. And when it spawns, it appears right here, which I'm gonna close out because I killed it, and it appears under spawn. And then the way that it works is there's a certain amount of seconds. I kind of explained it, in the tutorial video that I made with Orion's kit. It's kind of similar with how Droplets is as well, but basically it spawns for a certain amount of time, certain amount of seconds. And as soon as it reaches 0, instead of it despawning like droplets, it dies. It dies instantly. But obviously, this will go away if someone kills it, because if it dies, it's dead. But at any rate, that was the one like big change I wanted to cover, because that would confuse a lot of people, and you need the grass key. Initially, you probably saw that you had to complete Grass Sky Genocide in the old game, which was basically you had to kill like 5 grass monsters. You had to kill 2 strong grass monsters, and you had to kill the grass giant. And then you talk to Fire Dude, and you would complete the quest, and then you got it. That's what I was trying to go for. I was trying to make it so you had to complete all the grass quests, and then you got it. But I realized that I made it kind of confusing and made it really hard to progress. So what I changed was I still made it so you had to talk to him, to get the key from the quest, but I made it so that you don't have to kill the spawn boss anymore to get the key. The spawn boss is just for is for levels, gold, and the Grass Legend Pro. What you do now is I added it as an additional reward for killing the grass giant from the quest. So when he tells you I want you to kill the grass giant, when you go ahead and do that, it will the first quest is to kill the grass monsters, the second one is the strong grass monsters, the third one is the grass giant. When you do that, he'll give you the key to the portal room. Now, the second one I want to mention in this video is normal part C. So the first thing you probably will notice is that the mobs here ignore the water. And Eversign V1, the mobs could swim to some degree. These don't swim at all, and you can see that they don't even swim. They walk as if they ignore it, right? So the most effective way I saw was ranged, because if you look right now, see, those are the only ones that can damage me. The melee mobs really can't damage me because I'm out of their sight, but I can still get damaged by the ranged mobs. Now, so I thought that would be a little bit more appropriate underwater, but I thought I decided to include the melees because initially, remember, they were all melee. The sea monsters and Sea King were all the way up on the ceiling, and the deep sea monsters and Sea Queen were on the ocean floor. So, since I realized they all had to be on the ocean floor, I made the ones on the ceiling melee and the ones on the ocean floor ranged. That was how I did it. Now, you may be wondering how many spawn bosses there are. So, there's a spawn boss in the first 5 worlds, so that being Wild Grasslands, Frosted Tundra, because Snowman spawns there, Origin Snowman. And he's 1 in 100,000, so he's super rare. And you may see that in a quest. Now, remember, that's optional. You don't have to kill Snowman to progress. And that's kind of how I'm trying to make a lot of these spawn bosses. Like, that way you don't have to feel like you're playing the waiting game just to progress. You're just playing the waiting game because you're a completionist and you want to get all the swords. I only did it for 1 because I kind of wanted to make the lore of this realm kind of a reward, because I realized at that point you can still grind and get to realm 2. So but I made it a little bit easier. So so you might be wondering about that. So obviously Frosted Tundra's got a spawn boss. There's Magma Firelands Magma Firelands has one. That's the fire giant, and he's 1 in 250,000, so he's epic. And he drops the fire legend. And the snowball launcher is dropped from Origin Snowman. Now, then there's Block Cave, the cringe blockheads, which I might include in Realm 2 and Crystal Cave. We'll see if there's a crystal blockhead, as maybe a spawn boss. But at any rate, moving on, Queen Block. So, there's King Block. Queen Block is the spawn boss, and she's the only ranged blockhead. Um, she drops the block staff, which is a projectile staff. For some of y'all, that might be your first one. For some of y'all, the Wither staff might be your first projectile staff. Um, and then you've got you've got Sandy Beach. Sandy Beach is a sand mage, and that's 1 in 500,000, so legendary. For some of y'all, if you're lucky enough, you'll get your first beam staff from him. Otherwise, you'll get the blaze rod, or no, you'll get the chocolate staff from Chocolate Poop and Candy Kingdom. But basically, yeah. So in each of those 5 that I just mentioned are in their own world. You don't have to go to another place. Now, there's 2 more spawn bosses. Initially, I made those kind of, intended to go to advance. Now, these next 2 spawn bosses have abilities, mob abilities. Shout out to Axros for the abilities. So, like, if I go to Pinky Fin, she ain't gonna be there, but you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So, Pinky Fin right here. She's 1 in 50,000. For those of y'all who have played this a while back, you may remember that she was 1 in 7,500. Now I changed her to 1 in 50,000. I made her rarer. I will explain why, but basically it's because she's optional now. You don't have to fight her to progress. She has an ability where she summons sort of a circle of like blocks or something, and those can damage you a lot. And she does that every 20 seconds, along with her main damage, and she's a melee type. Now, you may be wondering, for those of y'all played, you know that you have to get to Kid Key 1 to get to the final world. Initially, what you had to do is you had to complete all of her quests, all of the Kid's quests, and for some odd reason, the Kid's hair still is up like that. I tried many times to fix her hair. I tried to scale it. I tried everything. And it's still, the game decides that it would be funny if they move the hair up. Maybe it's something with the water, but I don't know. And yeah, she has a sand form. She does have a forest form in Chapter 2. And she's talking about the portal and Coast's house. But she doesn't know. To Atlantia. Well, obviously there's the painting for you to go through. But at any rate, yeah. So yeah, you can actually go this way. Initially to get her key, you had to complete all of her quests, including the quests that was required to you had to kill like 5 sea monsters, then 5 deep sea monsters. You had to kill 2 I don't know why I said snow. 2 sea kings, 2 sea queens, and then you had to basically kill her. You had to challenge her in her ocean form. And then now that's where you get the key, is by completing the quest of her ocean form. But before, she would give you the Kid Ocean bow, which that bow so yeah, and that's kind of how it was in the original as well. But then you have something called the Kid Key 1, and that was, she gave the Pinky Fin quest, and it was actually kind of cool how I did it, and I still kind of did it in this way too for the bow. I had your character basically just saying, "Bro, where's your key? I need it to get to Mystictopia." And then she says, "All right, defeat Pinky Fin, and then I'll give it to you." And it has to be from the quest. If you killed Pinky Fin before, you'd have to wait all over again to get it. Now, I thought that was a little bit unfair. So, and just based off of feedback. So, in case you're wondering, I flip-flopped them. So now, if you do that, the Pinky Fin quest is still there, but the reward for that is her bow. And the reward for beating her is the key to Mystictopia. So that's how I made it optional. Now, for those of y'all that haven't completed the quest, the old quest, like I'm talking to the Cosmic Fallen, if you're watching this, I have added a second way to get her key. Um, I have added a second way to get her key. So you might be for the and this is for y'all that haven't done the quest either. If you don't like the quest, her quests are not required to progress. Um, for the grass one, it is, but only the grass, only the grass, only fire dude, and that's just to get to the portal room. And to get to the hellish nether and skyblock clouds. But if you defeat her, she always drops her sword, but she has a 1 in 10 chance, which means that 10% chance, 10% chance of dropping the key. So, but she's the mega boss and she's always there. But see, sometimes when I kill her, like, it says item dropped, right? Um, but sometimes it will say it twice, and that's how you know you have the key. So I added it as a chance, but for the quest, obviously you'll always get it. So if you don't feel like doing the quest, you don't have to. You can just kill her a bunch of times and hope that you get the key. And I did this to accommodate the people who have the old quest because of the flip flop that I did. Now you may be wondering, because there's one more key, does that one require a quest? And my answer to you is no. So that's the yellow hornet key. I made it intentionally so that a game would drop it when you kill him. You don't really kill him canonically. You just challenge him. Same way with the kid. But in game terms, it's going to count as a kill right here. So that's why. Canonically, no one dies. But, well, there's death in the game. There is death in the game. There are people that die, but I'm just saying not yet. That's Dr. Time 777 explosion. But see how I kill her a bunch of times. So sometimes, right now, usually it'll just show one item drop because, like I said, 10% chance. So kind of a low chance. But if you really don't want to do quests, or you were in the situation where you're stuck with the Pinky Fin quest that is rewarding a key after I made her less likely to spawn, um, you can obviously just kill the kid a bunch of times and you will get the key. Because I programmed it. If I didn't program it, I'll go ahead and push an update. But I made it so that it's 1 in 10. But so I think this is probably about right. Like, we would be here forever doing this. You just be in a loop. But this is now possible though. So you can beat the game. You can beat the first realm. You can get to the second realm. But see, eventually that's gonna say that she dropped the key, and it's possible that maybe she. Oh, and for you F9ers here, um, these are the only errors. Nice, right? But server-wise, yeah. Go over to the server, you're gonna see a bunch of things. I have the leaderboards and server storage because the leaderboards, I have it so that you have to go to the castle to see your leaderboard. I might put a leaderboard in the future somewhere in this realm if you really want that. These are errors from the kit. I'll have to ask BW King 16 about this one because this is a NPC and not a mob. I don't know why Mob Live is flagging that. It could be something with the floor glitch, maybe. If you just saw, it blinked. I mean, it does that for many Roblox games, but Right here, there's some hidden assets I gotta take care of because remember back in 2022, Roblox wiped their library because of copyright. Uh, and then there's something with the spawn boss, which could affect maybe why some of the mobs don't always spawn. But I know that some of y'all will probably do a video on this and just do it just to copy me and be like, bro, why do you have so many errors? I'm explaining to you now, so you don't need to add a comment. Um, but yeah. Um, Other than that, that's pretty much it. Let me just try some old trick. Uh, Wait, that didn't do anything. All right. I guess it's okay that I reveal this to you now. So what I just did, it used to be a troll that me and BW King 16 did a while back. It was gonna shut the server down, ultimately, or crash it. Um, what it does is it puts the game in an infinite loop because wild truths to my computer science and data science people watching this, you know that nobody likes wild truths because um, if you don't have a break, it's also just not good practice of programming. But for those of y'all that are using wild truths, you have to be sure to break, or you're gonna be in an infinite loop. I mean, in some cases, like you want it to run infinitely until you manually terminate. That's fine. But see, it dropped two, right here. The Kid Ocean Key 1 in 10. So that's the other way you get the key. I already have the key though, but it still notifies you of what she dropped, even if you already have it. So there you have it. But I thought I would show this to you because this was kind of a this was kind of just a problem that's been happening lately in my game, and I thought I would go ahead and fix it to make the game more enjoyable. And so now, moving on, I guess I can show y'all some of the other worlds. So, obviously, right away you notice that the grass monsters look nicer. Um, they're made of smooth plastic. I showed you the VIP room, right? Yeah, I did. VIP room right here. Um, if I go through here, you may notice what this thing is. This is a quest area. So one of the quest areas is, enter the Frosted Tundra. You touch this area, you go back to Fire Dude, you talk to him. Legend of Mystic 4 Pre-Urban has that now. But at any rate, here is Frosted Tundra. If you notice, Frosty the Mob is now ranged. I actually want to make a few comments about my journey with the ranged weapons. So I fell in love with the ranged AI initially because when I initially made this game, back in 2021, I wanted to have mobs that could shoot with a bow and arrow. And back then, no one had made an AI that could do that. And I really wanted to have that in the game. And I really was sad to see that I had to come up with alternatives, knowing that back then the mobs were only melee. So hearing that the mobs got ranged now, I realized that that's possible. However, the ranged mobs is a little bit buggy. I realized if you set their speed to 0, you can have them shoot from guard towers. You can increase their follow distance, the aggravate distance, and their shooting distance for if they're in a tower, they can shoot at you from a range. It's pretty awesome. Um, and they use the same casting mesh. It's awesome, really. But if you do have a move, the way that they're designed is they will chase after you just like the regular mobs, but if you get too close to them, like you try to kill them with a sword, they will actually run away from you. Which to a lot of people in this game and many games I played find it annoying because if their speed is set like a regular melee mob, it's easy to like if they're set to 13 like it is by default, it can be pretty annoying to try to chase after them and try to kill them, and you're trying to catch up to them, and it feels like that they're faster than you, right? And you're trying to kill them with your sword, and because you're trying to chase after them, they have the opportunity to shoot the projectiles at you and you take damage. So like honestly, like the really only way you can deal with them is with bow and arrows. So what I decided to do was I decided to decrease the speed to 10. So if you notice that they were all slower, I made it so you could catch up to them with a sword. But at the same time, I still want them moving fast enough to, shoot projectiles at you. I also lowered the aggravate distance. So they won't follow you unless you're a little bit closer. Not by much, but I just made it the same as shooting range. So instead of 32, I made it 28. And so I think it's a little bit more balanced. I mean, you can go ahead and tell me if it is. The VIP Game Pass, besides the VIP key in the VIP room, it also gives you a 0.5 XP buff. You get double gold, and you get you get a 0.5 damage buff. So that's yeah. And your walk speed goes up by 4, and your health goes up by 250. So I might make it so that your MP is doubled as well. So like you'll have 50 MP for VIP. For those of y'all looking at it right around the time this video is uploaded, the cost is 500 Robux. In the future, it might be 1,000 Robux. It depends on how OP it is. Those of y'all that purchased it for 500 Robux, y'all should still be able to have it, and I'm okay with that. It's just any new people that purchase it. Now, trying to think of what to say next. Oh yeah, so APX Gumdropics, right? The big thing that you need to know about Gumdropics is she's now a mega boss. I decided to do that because she's kind of a more important character. For those of y'all that have played it before the revamp, you know that she was a regular boss. I also kind of did it to balance things out because the candy knife was useless before, and I still wanted her to drop a knife, but I realized because the knife is faster, the knife does less damage. So I decided to kind of balance that out by making her a mega boss and still drop the same weapon with the weapon being buffed because of that. So, and I kind of did the opposite with the Red Wolf knife. Because I nerfed the Red Wolf boss, I nerfed his weapon. But see, yeah. And if I had the music on, you would be hearing the same song you would be hearing when you fight Phantom Knight in the Purple Raven Realm. It's not out yet, but you can fight him in the old version. I still let you play the old version. Basically the Everside V1. But and yeah, so then here's Square Cave. Go to Square Cave. You've got the blockheads. You've got the block giant. I also buffed all the XP given by the enemies. So and kind of nerfed their damage a little bit. So I did that because in the old game, I was playing as an alt. And just to see what y'all were going through. I kind of went undercover in the old game just to see what y'all were going through. And then, of course, it happened when I was just playing as myself here with, the keys. That's why I had to change the key situation. But in the old game, I was playing as an alt, and I realized how grindy it was, and it annoyed me. So I went ahead and buffed that, or buffed the XP, so you don't have to grind as much. Unfortunately, it still is very grindy when you go. So from normal. I made the quests reward you with a lot of levels. Um, like way more, probably way too many. I was just trying to make up for it. Um, I went to so in Hellish Nether, I find it really hard to get to 500 and then to 1000 afterwards. So to help with that, I added more quests in both here and this the for both here and yeah. I actually plan on making him a spawn boss because um yeah, he just uses you to get stronger, like how you build him in Minecraft. The Wither. And he's got 3 heads, and he's kind of cringe. He's floating, like the Wither, like the Wither, um, in Minecraft. Um, but basically, Blaze is ranged, and he'll drop. I forgot to say, so in the old game, I at one point I did add mini boss weapons to kind of help with it. In the old game they always dropped them, and this one I decided to make a 1 in 5 chance with and then the boss, if they drop keys, 1 in 10, with the exception of a game where it's always 100%. But Origin Piggy, or you can just call it Piggy. I just called it Origin Piggy because of the chapter. Chapter 1's called Origin of the Purple Raven, so I call him Origin Piggy. Um, you go to spawn. You can go to the portal room. Super bosses will only take you to spawn. You can go to my game hub. You can go back to the castle. Um, if you go to Skyblock Clouds, it takes you. This is the world. It's kind of what I did here. I actually made a change here. So other than Luna, I brought her in earlier than I wanted to because Luna was supposed to come later. She's from Raventown. Uh, she know that she's kind of the sister of well, I don't know if I should say too much, but like basically let's just say that she, Gumdropics, and the Phantom Knight all have good lore. Um or like interesting lore tied between the three. And of course you've got Nara and tied into it as well, but Nara's not in this game. She's in Raven First 2. But you may be wondering, if for those of y'all remembering the old game, you'll remember that these 2 cloud platforms were not here. You had to take the hard path. You had to go here, and you had to go from the left side. You could backtrack around the right and get rid of those mobs, but I decided to give people choice, and I thought you could make the jump. I realized it was impossible, and you would die. So I added these intermediate platforms right here, these small platforms, so that it's possible. You can go ahead and jump, and you can take the easier path. And if you fall off, yes, you do die. And I have quest areas because I have Luna saying, I want you to do the easy path. I want you to do the hard path. And then, if you notice, she has you do the kill quest, the sky monsters, the sky giant. But then she has you kill the I forgot the mega boss. Now I forgot to mention the wither staff that comes from killing Piggy from his quest. Not from necessarily killing him, but from completing the last quest of the Wither. He gives you this Wither Staff, which is a projectile type. You actually get both of your first staffs here. You get the Blaze Rod here, and or sorry, not here, but from the Blaze, and it's a beam type. So for many of y'all, that's your first staff, or well, I shouldn't say that because Chocolate Poop drops Chocolate Staff, which is which is a beam type. Now, and this is projectile. So see, the difference is, remember, projectile, it throws the projectile, damages it. But of course you got the crossbow. Now he still drops the parkour crossbow. You know, this, where is it? Where did it go? Oh, right here. Um, so you still got that, right? But if you complete the quest, Luna gives you the parkour hammer, which you can use in the final world, the final world, Mystictopia, which is the one you go to right after, or you know you backtrack to what's it called? You backtrack to normal part C you backtrack to normal part C to get the key. But I made the key easier now. Now you might be wondering what were the rarities. So before I made a game 1 in 50,000, which made it impossible to defeat the final boss. Or you had to just wait a very long time, which could be annoying, which could cause a lot of dislikes. Pinky Fin was 1 in 7,500. I flip-flopped those ratings, or those rarities. I flip-flopped those rarities. So now in this new change, because Pinky Fin is optional, I decided to make Pinky Fin 1 in 50,000 because at this point you're just going after 2 weapons. So I thought it was only fair to do that. And since A game's required to progress to fight the final boss, I decided to make him a type common. And it's Awesome Gamer XLP, like the YouTuber, you know, from Mr. Crew, Yellow Hornet. But you know, you go to Mystictopia, and yes, I have the BOB King 16. He actually gives you like a crap ton of levels, and he also gives you 2 weapons. If you complete the quest that involves challenging A game, you know, he does die in this chapter, but not yet. And you know that because chapter 2 is literally called Death of A game. But you could have probably been thinking of a video game or something, right? Nope, it's him. But anyway, you go ahead and challenge him, and that's how you get the key, and he drops his the Yellow Hornet dagger, which is this. And see, he just spawned. Now, see, it works like this. Yeah, you throw it's literally the knife model, but I made it ranged. Yeah, kind of lazy on my part. A lot of people might say for this, like right here, I could probably use more decorations. Looking back at it, the block cave, normally it's not recommended to make a cave like that. It's very unprofessional. But this was my very first game, and I actually did that for the humor. I wanted to be funny. So, here's A game. He's ranged, so he'll shoot from a range, and he actually does a crap ton of damage. And he does run away from you. He's slow, but he has an ability. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show it to you, but just let me damage him like 3 times. Or, well, I should probably stop now so I can show it to you. But see, that's the ability. And he has the ability as well. So in BOB King 16's quest, if you defeat the quest that involves defeating him, which is basically killing him, you know, in the case, he will give you the Red Legend, which is the swords that the Red Scorpion Wanderers are holding. The Red Legend, yeah, literally just called Red Legend. Literally just called Red Legend. Now, the only sword that I have missing that you can't get right now is the Green Dragon Legend. You can't get that right now. I might have a super boss. I might have a super boss that I was thinking of having like a grass super boss, the Wither, and probably like a super green dragon that drops a weapon. Those are probably going to be the super bosses, in case you were wondering. But at any rate, there is a question mark box if you didn't see. So if you kill him, he gives you the weapon and the key. the key that you need to, you guessed it, to fight Alpha Blue 64, which is Alpha Rock. And Alpha Rock, the villain. He's kind of a villain in the BWK, and he is actually a BW King 16 character. But when I made this, I kind of had it as like my point of view on it. But see, he if y'all probably heard of the joke about the talking portal. This is all it's saying. It's just a game speaking to you through the portal. Prove your worth before fighting. Before fighting Alpha Blue 64. Fight me when I appear, and I'll give you the key to fight him. You don't have to do a quest. You just kill him, and he gives you the key. I just did that so you would have an idea of how to get the key. And then once you have the key, you can fight Alpha Blue 64. Now, he has 2 drops. He drops, of course, the Red Wolf Knife, and he's pretty much impossible to attack head-on melee. Because if I go too close to him, that happens. Kills me 1 hit, and his ability kills me 1 hit. So, yeah, I've already nerfed him too. He is possible. You have to use a ranged weapon. At this point, you have several ranged weapons, and you don't need to kill a single spawn boss. You just have to use a ranged weapon. That is my tip for how to beat him. And you have to actually beat him multiple times if you want the lore key, unless if you're lucky. So, he has 2 drops. He drops the Red Wolf Knife because he drops a weapon. And if you finish the quest of trying to kill him from BW King 16, you will get the BW Hunter Bow. But the second drop, which is a 1 in 10 chance, is the lore key. The lore key is what you just saw me unlock back in the castle. So you have to be level 1000, which is actually the level requirement to get to the Purple Raven Realm. But, bro, the mobile shift lock works differently, I swear. But yeah, so you just fire the ranged weapon like I'm doing, and see, item gets dropped. That's all you have to do. But you have to go and just kill them a bunch of times to get the lore key. And once you have the lore key, at this point, you should definitely be level 1000. If not, you also have to be level 1000. And you can go ahead and go back to the castle and look at the lore for this realm. But it's much like how I had the second way of getting to Kid Key 1. So, but it's only that second way now. You don't get the lore key from doing a quest. I might be able to change that so that you get that as a reward, maybe. But I was thinking it's more fun if you just kill the spawn boss over and over. We'll see. Because I might make it so that you're guaranteed it if you complete the quest. But I was actually thinking of having it as a chance. I might change it to that in the future so that if you complete the quest, if you've already completed the quest, you can still do it the first way, which is by killing him and hope you get it. Because there's a 10% chance that he'll drop the lore key, and when he does drop the lore key, you can go back to the castle and see the lore of this chapter. And as you see, there are lore keys for every single one. I haven't developed the keys yet because they ain't out. But you see how I'm just killing him over and over, right? So that's literally all you have to do, and eventually he'll drop it. And once he drops it, you're able to go unlock the door, and as soon as you're of level of the next realm, you can. The levels that you may be seeing level 1000, level 10,000, level 100,000, level 750, and level 1 million. those are the level requirements I kind of have planned for each of the realms. So like for realm 1, obviously that's where you start, the ally realm. You know, you have to be level 7, or you don't have to be level 750. You have to be, that's for the final world. You have to be level 1. But for the Purple Raven realm, you have to be level 1000. And at that point, when you get there, oh look, see, this is how I did it. He has a 1 in 10 chance, and he drops the lore key. So at that point, you can teleport to Null Space Castle, and it will teleport you to the castle, and you can actually go and unlock the lore key. Which, as long as you're level 1000, which that is the level that you need to be to get to the Purple Raven realm once that's out. But see, there you go. You unlocked it. You can go through. Hooray! Now, I guess what I should say here is, if you've guessed what level 10,000 is, you're probably right. That is the level you need to be to go into Atlantia. And then Sharkian Palace, yep, 100,000. And then to go to Red Wolf Arena, this is where you might be thrown off. Level 1. You can enter that. You can enter that at any point. So that's going to be where the super bosses. I plan on putting the super bosses as well. You can actually take down the super bosses, and I was actually, I might even think that may think about, I might even consider making it so you have to take down all the super bosses before you can face Bluevy. Not the first time, but you know, as the final boss of the whole chapter. And you know, but you have to be that 750,000 level. That's the level to enter his castle, to go and fight him. So we'll not fight him necessarily to enter his castle, like the Red Wolf Castle. So you're going to be kind of outside, kind of in an arena, right? You'll have an arena. It's more just like a portal place. You go and it kind of changes, right? You'll have a grass kind of area where I guess you'll fight the first super boss, for example, right? There's probably going to be about like 12 super bosses, I'll say, maybe like 3 per realm, with the exception of the 5th one. So yeah, 12. And then for the last one, I almost thought about just having a so just go, because I was initially thinking about, having just a couple of mobs, maybe like just like 3 worlds, and then and then right afterwards in the 4th world, you go and face the final boss and you're done with the chapter. And then, chapter 2, you have to be level 1 million. And that's why, to view the last lore, which will also tell you the lore with the super bosses, probably you have to be level 1 million. So that's kind of how I plan the super bosses. So to some of y'all, you might find that annoying because you're used to probably seeing the super bosses. You're probably used to seeing the super bosses in the same place. I almost thought about that, but I was actually thinking it would be interesting if they were like guards, if they were all guards to Bluevy's castle, and that's how the super bosses played. And you had to maybe defeat all of them to get to be able to fight the last one. But as I've seen, those super bosses kind of play a optional role, though. Like, you just defeat them to get their OP sword, and then and then that's it, right? I was just thinking about that because they could be like guards. You have to take them out, get their keys to get into the castle. So you have to be level 750,000. You have to defeat all the super boss, or you have to defeat maybe some of the super bosses, and then you can storm in, and then that's when you can fight Bluevy, and yeah. In case you're wondering what you're seeing over here, yes, you can actually get a glimpse of the castle. If you go under here, under the moat, yes, there is like a basement here. Um, it's actually pretty interesting. I don't really want to spoil the entire thing, but yes, when it said Blue V, got away, Alpha Blue 64, Alpha Rock Blue V, whatever you want to call him, he actually appeared. He will appear again as the final boss for the whole chapter, but you don't see him until that. So like in the other chapters, you'll have different final bosses, but he will be the final boss of the whole chapter. And then you go to chapter 2. Of course, you'll see him again and probably fight him again in later chapters. But and you might see like Alpha Blue 64 2 or something like that. It's the same guy, but just the second encounter. I'm just gonna do that just to avoid any conflicts. I know it doesn't sound really original, but just because of how the game works here. But see, colliding timelines. See here, it's all 2D, which is actually pretty interesting. You may be wondering why I can jump higher. Your jump power goes up if you have VIP as well. Castle basement, yeah. Which you can also teleport here or by taking the portal in the shops right here. So you can go right here. You can walk through the teleport, and it'll take you there. I think that wall thing right here, yeah. That could have been from a glitch because I don't see it now. It looks. Oh no, I still see it. So it ain't a glitch. It's something to do with shadows, I guess. All right. I think that's pretty much everything there is to show in the game. Round 2. The only thing I can tell you is the healing fountain's purple. And yeah, there will be a purple healing fountain where the angry villagers are in Raven Town. I've also made the walls thicker. I don't know if you noticed in the first in the ally realm that before you could easily cheat. Yep, thicker walls, and I did the same for Purple Raven Realm. If you're wondering why a lot of these areas are empty, it's because I'm kind of developing them as I go. And yeah, if you want to, feel free to check this game out. Just click the Roblox group in my in the description of this video, and you will see it's called Ravecraft RPG now. And if you want to see more RPG content or tower defense content, or maybe even Tycoon, or just more Roblox videos in general, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also be sure to check out the Cool Mates. Be sure to check out other channels such as this guy. I don't really make videos there anymore, but check them out if you want to. I might make videos there eventually. We'll see, but some of these bugs, like the shop and the floorless, will be fixed. I think this has to do something with the colored UI. But yeah, until next time. Oh, I forgot to show you the game hub. Yeah, you've got the game hub as well. You'll see that in the you'll see that here, and you can get to pre-urban and all. And if you click it, when you actually go into the game initially, this is something I forgot to show you. You'll actually see an option here. So this takes you to the old game. You can still play the old game. This takes you to the new. And they're just places within the original game. And don't worry, the old game data is still there. Your data is not reset. It is just, this is a new game. And that's why you start over. Alright, and until next time, Weighing Coast, out.